Most people are not failing because life is unfair. They're failing because they keep choosing comfort over growth. That's the truth. You say you want a different life. Say you want discipline, respect, purpose, peace, confidence, success. But your daily decisions tell a completely different story. Because every time life asks you for discomfort, you retreat back into convenience, and then you wonder why nothing changes. Welcome back. This is episode 3 of The Truth You Keep Avoiding. In episode 1, we talked about discipline. In episode 2, we talked about avoidance and respect. But today, we're exposing the thing quietly destroying millions of people without them even realizing it. Comfort, not rest, not peace. Comfort. The kind that slowly makes a man passive. The kind that convinces you to stay exactly where you are while telling yourself you're waiting for the right time. And the dangerous part is, comfort rarely feels dangerous in the moment. It feels deserved. It feels harmless. That's why so many people get trapped in it. Comfort whispers. It doesn't scream. It says things like, you can start tomorrow. You've had a long day. You deserve a break. 1 more hour won't hurt. And little by little, your edge disappears. Imagine a sword left outside in the rain. The damage doesn't happen overnight. There's no explosion. No dramatic collapse. Just slow corrosion. Quiet rust forming over time until the blade that was once sharp can barely cut anything at all. That's what comfort does to people. Dulls you. Your discipline gets dull. Your focus gets dull. Your ambition gets dull. Your standards get dull. Eventually you wake up wondering where your fire went. It didn't disappear overnight. You slowly traded it for comfort. Most people don't realize this, but your life is built from repeated choices, not intentions, not dreams. Choices. Every day you are casting votes for the person you're becoming. Every workout is a vote. Every excuse is a vote. Every disciplined decision is a vote. Every delay is a vote. Many people are voting against their future every single day while still expecting a different outcome. That's insanity. Cannot keep feeding comfort and expect growth to survive. Farmer cannot water weeds and pray for crops. But that's exactly what people do with their lives. You feed distraction, you feed laziness, you feed procrastination, you feed comfort. Then you stand in the middle of the field, confused about why nothing valuable is growing. Imagine a man sitting in a parked car with the engine running. He has dreams, goals, plans, vision. He talks constantly about where he wants to go. But hours pass, and the car never moves. Why? Because comfort became more important than movement. And that's where many people are right now. Busy, but not progressing. Thinking, but not moving. Talking, but not building. And eventually, standing still starts creating frustration because deep down, you know movement is possible. Just haven't committed to discomfort. That's the price nobody wants to talk about. Everything meaningful costs discomfort. Discipline costs discomfort. Growth costs discomfort. Leadership costs discomfort. Healing costs discomfort. Purpose costs discomfort. You cannot become stronger while constantly protecting yourself from pressure. Muscle is built through resistance. Character is built through resistance. Mental toughness is built through resistance. That's why comfortable people often become emotionally fragile. The moment life applies pressure, they collapse because they spent years avoiding anything difficult. Pressure exposes what comfort hides. And some of you are trapped in cycles right now because you've become addicted to relief instead of progress. You don't want challenge, you want relief. Relief from stress. Relief from pressure. Relief from responsibility. Relief from discomfort. So every time life gets hard, you escape into distractions. Scrolling, entertainment, overeating, sleeping too much, avoiding difficult conversations, waiting for motivation. And while you're escaping discomfort, your future is quietly slipping away. Comfort is dangerous because it creates the illusion of safety while slowly stealing your potential. Imagine a hawk raised inside a cage. At first, the hawk fights to escape. It slams against the bars, it spreads its wings. It resists confinement. But eventually, if kept there long enough, it stops trying. Not because it lost its wings, because it lost its belief that flying was possible. That's what comfort does. It conditions people to stop reaching higher. And the tragedy is that many people still have the ability to change their life, but they've become mentally domesticated by convenience. You weren't built to live asleep, weren't built to spend your entire life consuming comfort while your purpose dies quietly in the background. There's more in you than this. But but more requires movement. More requires sacrifice. More requires discipline. And this generation has become obsessed with outcomes while avoiding process. Everybody wants success. Few people want structure. Everybody wants confidence. Few people want discipline. Everybody wants respect. Few people want responsibility. People want the reward without becoming the person required to carry it. But life doesn't work that way. You cannot skip becoming. That's why shortcuts destroy people. They create outcomes without foundations, and anything built without foundation eventually collapses under pressure. Imagine building a mansion on sand. From the outside, it looks impressive, expensive, successful. But the moment a storm arrives, the entire thing begins sinking. Because underneath the beauty, there was no structure. That's what happens when comfort becomes your foundation. You become impressive on the outside, but unstable underneath. And life eventually exposes unstable foundations. That's why some people panic under pressure. They never trained themselves to endure discomfort. They spent years running from it. But the strongest people in life are not people who avoided pressure. They are people who learned how to stand inside it without breaking. That's strength. And strength is built intentionally. Nobody accidentally becomes disciplined. Nobody accidentally becomes focused. Nobody accidentally becomes mentally strong. You build it through repeated, uncomfortable decisions. One choice at a time, one hard day at a time, one disciplined action at a time. That's how transformation actually happens. Not through hype, not through temporary motivation, through consistency, through standards, through refusing to negotiate with comfort every single day. So let me ask you something honestly. How much of your life has been delayed because comfort became more important than growth? How many goals have been postponed? How many opportunities ignored? How many versions of yourself abandoned? Because every time you choose comfort over necessary action, you vote against your own future. Eventually, those votes become your life. I'm not telling you to destroy yourself. I'm not saying never rest. Rest is necessary. Peace is necessary. But there's a difference between recovery and hiding. Some people aren't resting. They're retreating from responsibility. And there comes a moment where you have to decide what you actually want more, comfort or growth, because you cannot fully have both. Growth will demand discomfort from you over and over again. Early mornings, hard conversations, consistency, sacrifice, responsibility. That's the price. The people who accept that price become dangerous in life because they stop negotiating with excuses. So here's the challenge. This week, stop asking yourself what feels comfortable. Ask yourself what moves your life forward. And then do that. Even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. Because the life you want is hidden behind the discomfort you keep avoiding. If this message hit you, don't just watch it and move on. Sit with it. Think about it honestly. Comment below, where has comfort been holding you back? I want to hear real answers. Like the video if this spoke to you. Share it with somebody who needs this wake-up call. And most importantly, subscribe. We're pushing toward 1,000 subscribers, and this channel is becoming a place for real accountability, real growth, and real conversations that people are afraid to have. This is the Ordinary Guy 2.0. Responsibility before ego. See you next time.